Best bites forever.
Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, you're going to learn how to make this warm and creamy beef stroganoff. I'm starting off here with about 1.5 pounds of sirloin. I prefer to use the sirloin in this recipe because it makes a really tender beef stroganoff. If you would like to use one of the kind of tougher cuts of meat that are a little bit less expensive, like the round, you can definitely do that, but you're going to want to increase your cooking time at the end and allow the meat to braise for a little bit. So here I have put all of my meat into the pan, which is fine. If you'd like to get like the browning on the outside of the meat, you can definitely do this in smaller batches, but for time purposes, I decided that I was going to go ahead and put all of my meat in here together. I've also put in some kosher salt and black pepper. I would prefer to have freshly ground black pepper, however, my grinder broke, so I am using the pre-ground pepper. Here is my steak, and it has been sauteing around for a few minutes. You can see that some of its fat and juices is coming out just a little bit, and I did have about 2 tablespoons of canola oil in there also. I'm going to cook this to about medium rare, and then I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the pan because I don't want it to cook any further. It's already a nice tender piece of meat, and it doesn't have to. I'm going to set this over to the side, and I'm going to leave all of that good stuff in the pan and add in my mushrooms. You could add whatever type of mushrooms that you would like. You can use cremini, brown mushrooms, the little baby bellas. You can use the white button mushrooms, but you're going to need about 1 pound of them. I also added a little bit more kosher salt, and that's about 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to melt that in along with like 2 cloves of garlic and 1 whole onion, which I have chopped up. Give that a nice little stir and saute it around until your onions start to look translucent and your mushrooms will cook down just a little bit. So you can see here that again the juices are starting to come out of my onions and my mushrooms, and these just need another minute or so, and right here they are looking perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 4 tablespoons of AP flour, and I'm going to put my meat back in here, and this is just the rest of my flour that I'm going to sprinkle in over the meat. That is going to be what is used to thicken up our sauce. So the starch in the flour is going to absorb all of the juices and it's going to get nice and thick. I'm going to cook that around for just a minute or so to cook the flour, and then I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of sherry. And I just want to deglaze my pan with that. So basically what that means is I'm going to be scraping up all of the little delicious bits off of the bottom of the pan. I love using my flat wooden spatula for this. My friend actually brought this back for me from the Amazon, but obviously they are available in pretty much any store where you can get cooking supplies. So I added in just a little bit of beef broth, and you can use beef broth or stock for this, whichever one is available to you. And I'm just scraping again the bottom of the pan as I go, and I just want to add in a little bit at a time to start off with. So I added a little bit, I stirred it around, and now you can see that I'm adding quite a bit more, but I want to stir that around and make sure that the flour is getting incorporated so that I don't end up with lumps. You can get lumps not super easy in this. It's not like, turkey gravy or something like that, but you do need to do just that little bit to start, and then you should be pretty cool after that. So I have gone ahead and did a little taste test here, and I decided that I wanted to add a little bit more kosher salt and a little bit more of the black pepper, especially since it wasn't fresh ground. It didn't really have that strong peppery taste that I like to have in my stroganoff. I stirred that around, and now I'm going to add in the rest of my beef stock. So if you look at this, you can see that it is super liquidy at this point, and that's totally fine. This is what I was using, by the way. You can use whatever brand you like best or whatever you're comfortable with, but that's the brand that I just happen to be using today. So once it comes up to a simmer, you're going to really notice it start to thicken up because again, those little starch molecules that are in the flour are going to like absorb all of the excess liquid. So you can already see that this is getting nice and thick. Meanwhile, I have boiling water started for my egg noodles, and I'm just kind of going back and forth. You don't have to be like totally on top of this. You can just stir it every few minutes and not worry too much, but do make sure that you're scraping across the bottom as you stir. Once I get to this point, I want to do a little spoon test, and just it wants to coat the back of a spoon, and then when you run your finger across it, it should stick like this without running. So this is just right. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat, and then I'm going to add in my sour cream. I'm adding in 1 cup of sour cream, which is absolutely perfect for me. Of course, if you would like a little less or a little bit more, feel free to make adjustments. I'm going to stir this in until I have a nice, beautiful, smooth, creamy consistency. And I'm also going to drain my egg noodles, which I have boiling over here. They should be good to go. And I'm also going to garnish with a little bit of green onions, and this is ready to serve. Hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up or a like or whatever you want to call it. Also share it with all of your friends because sharing is caring. And if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button and be a subscriber now because you don't want to miss any of the upcoming awesomeness that's coming because it's awesomeness. And you can find me on my other social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and bestbitesforever.com, which is my blog. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Happy cooking, everyone.
bestbitesforever.com